Thank you, Ms. Scanlon. Ms. Houchin, you're recognized. Let me see if that's Mr. Scott. I recognize Mr. Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry I had to slip down to the Majority Leader's office. I have a question for you, Mr. Stile. Have you bought decongestants lately, just by any chance? I bought some the other day, and you know, when I did, they made me not only show my driver's license, they actually scanned the back of it. I didn't think it was that much of an inconvenience. I understand why they were doing it. There was a reason for it, but I mean, to my knowledge, that wasn't just me. They weren't picking on me, but anybody who went in and bought a decongestant with certain items in it would have to show an ID. Is that correct?
It's not just a decongestant, right? I mean, we can think about the DNC convention in 2024. You had to show an ID. There's a Democratic senator who held a town hall just a couple days ago.
Yeah,
you were required to,
in my state.
You may be uniquely knowledgeable of it, Mr.
Yeah.
Scott. Who required what? Yeah. A photo ID. So Democrats don't have a problem with photo ID writ large. They just have a problem with photo ID in the instance of voting. And it's such a common practice for Americans to board an airplane, buy decongestion, grab a beer, attend a town hall in your state with a Democratic senator, that it's commonplace, and it is such an essential component of election integrity. It's why it's in the Save America Act.
Yeah, you would have to have one to open a bank account.
Absolutely.
To deposit a Social Security check in, correct?
Absolutely.
I don't understand their argument against IDs. I did watch as someone from the state of Georgia who actually wrote the original voter ID law for the state of Georgia. At least it left the House under my name, but you know how senators get. They won't pass your legislation unless you let them put their name on it. Senators are all the same. It doesn't matter if you're in Georgia or any other state. I want to give you these numbers. Hillary Clinton, because I've listened to the Democrats nationally talk about how bad the election laws are. Hillary Clinton got 1.8 million votes in her election. 1.877 to be specific, in the state of Georgia. Biden got 2.473 million in 2020. After the draconian election law, I say that sarcastically so that nobody quotes me on it, that was passed after that election because of the number of absentee ballots, that was the one type of ballot that you didn't have to show an ID on in the state of Georgia. There was only one type of ballot you didn't have to show an ID on in the state of Georgia. Every other ballot you did. And so the legislature and the governor fixed that. You want to guess how many votes Kamala Harris got? 2.548 million. So the Democratic vote count has gone up every single time for their candidate. And I'll tell you, our vote counts have gone up too in the state of Georgia. And I think the bottom line is people in both parties don't trust the election if you don't have to show an ID to vote. Democrats and Republicans want to be able to trust the elections. And that requires that the person who walks in to vote is the person that they say they are, and that requires some type of identification. And you know what? The same identification that allows you to buy Sudafed over the counter allows you to vote, and then some in the state of Georgia. There are a lot of other IDs you can use too. So I think it's just good common sense legislation. The vast majority of people in both parties want this legislation. I look at the vote tabulations in the state of Georgia going up for the Democratic Party, almost 100,000 ballots after the last election law was passed. And I don't understand how they're complaining unless they're just looking for something to complain about. So I appreciate you. Do you have any further comments?
I would just say, I think that, I mean, this is unique. You're from the state of Georgia. Georgia's experience in implementing voter integrity laws proved the point that we're trying to make here. The Democratic language that was utilized when the state of Georgia was debating their election integrity law mirrors the language you're hearing from Democrats today on the Save America Act. I mean, it shouldn't be lost on anybody that recently Democratic leaders have called the legislation in front of us Jim Crow 2.0.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go back that far, because we went back to the summer of 2021 when Georgia was debating their election integrity law. And the then President of the United States, Joe Biden, called Georgia's election integrity law what? Of course, Jim Crow 2.0. And if we look at the empirical data that you just shared, Mr. Scott, what we see is that when people have confidence in their elections, they're more likely to participate. And Georgia's run 2 full statewide elections since that election integrity law went into place. We've seen strong participation. The University of Georgia did a significant survey in the state that showed that people had a positive experience in the elections. That's true across all key demographic groups. The survey found that statistically 0% of blacks had a poor negative voting experience in the state of Georgia. That's a good thing. What we have seen time and again is when you put in place common sense election integrity reforms as the state of Georgia did, or as we are doing here in the Save America Act, what happens is people increase their confidence in elections, and as people increase their confidence in elections, they're more likely to participate. So I appreciate you bringing up the Georgia example.
Senator Warnock and Governor Kemp both reelected on the same ballots with the voter ID laws. After all of the Jim Crow 2.0 rhetoric that was spewed out there, after the Major League Baseball, I think, moved one of their games in an effort to pander.
They moved to Colorado.
Yeah, to the woke crowd. So I appreciate the law. It makes good sense. And, you know, I truly believe you'll have higher turnout in both parties because it'll lead to more confidence in an accurate ballot. Thank you.
Thank you.